invite you into a deeper reflection for a moment, a place beyond the noise, the headlines, and the endless crisis. And I want to start just by asking you a foundational question. What kind of world do you truly want to live in? Not what you're against, but what you long for. Do you imagine a society that's rooted in peace, equality, and freedom? A world where leadership serves and not dominates? And where power is shared and not hoarded? This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a memory. It's humanity's memory. For most of human history, societies were not based on domination. They were organized around partnership and shared responsibility. Anthropologists and historians, they point to cultures that were egalitarian, they were cooperative and often matriarchal and matrilineal. Leadership wasn't about ruling over others. It was about stewardship, collectivism, and community, caring for the whole, right? But then something shifted. As hierarchical societies rose, things like the worship of the goddess, the embodiment of the feminine energy was all suppressed. And with her, the values of care and intuition, cooperation, interdependency, all of that was pushed away, pushed underground, forbidden. And what took her place was this hyper-masculinity, not masculinity itself, but a distortion of it. This dominance-based model that was rooted in control and conquest and ego. And we've seen it. We read about it in our history books, and we've seen that, all the movies about it. This gave rise to patriarchy. Not just a system that privileged men, but a system that installed the belief that power comes from being above others. It started creating these social constructs and putting people in groups and basing them on this tier, right? And we all inherited this, right? It's in our institutions, it's in our work cultures, it's in our psyches, even among those of us that are suppressed and oppressed and marginalized. We've learned to associate leadership with dominance, and that to lead, we must rise above others. We must compete. We must win. We must rule. That's the sort of society that we have created. But here's the truth. That model is crumbling. It's no longer going to work, and it's no longer sustainable. What's emerging is something ancient. I think we are coming into a time where we are remembering. This is going to be a return to collectivism and partnership. So what does that look like? Well, I'll tell you, I did this exercise with a nonprofit that I worked with, and I asked them to create images of what it would look like if their mission was accomplished. Now, I think that's something every nonprofit should be thinking of. What would society look like once mission was accomplished? And I think it's important to share that what this could look like for society. It would look like decentralized power and control, shared power. It looks like leading from a place of relationship and not ego. It looks like structures that prioritize care and dignity and collective well-being. In my work, I use a leadership framework rooted in energy, in wholeness, and alignment. And it's not about who's in charge. It's about what kind of energy leads. Is it fear or is it possibility? Is it control or is it connection? Is it dominance or is it co-creation? This model asks leaders to rewire their relationship with power and to not let ego lead, but the essence of who they are. To integrate your masculine and your feminine energies, because true leadership is balanced and it's embodied and it's awakened. And let me be clear, this isn't about gender. It's about energy. It's about what we've learned to suppress in ourselves, this softness, this stillness, slowness, sensitivity. These are not weaknesses. It's wisdom. And they're the key for us to build something better. But here's the tension, right? Every time humanity has moved towards this vision, towards justice and equality and peace, there has been backlash. There's been regression and resistance, violent clinging to the old ways. That's where I believe we are now. And we've seen it over history. But, I believe this time is going to be different. Because more people than ever are waking up. They're asking better questions and they're doing the inner work that I'm referring to. And that is the key. Riane Eisler, she is a world-renowned Australian-born, I think they call an American systems scientist. She's a writer and social activist. And she wrote a book called The Chalice and the Blade, Our History, Our Future. And she writes about this historical and cultural transformation that we've gone through and will be going through. But I always say, there's no social revolution without personal evolution. We cannot build partnership societies with dominator psyches. We're not going to be able to create external equality while holding on to these eternal hierarchical ways of thinking. The structures we build will only reflect the consciousness we bring to them. This is the work that I'm doing. This is the work that I invite you into. Dismantle that domination within yourself and reconnect with the parts that you've suppressed to be able to lead from a place of wholeness and balance. So let me leave you with this. What if everything we're experiencing right now is exactly the moment that we, as a community of leaders and change makers, were born for? What if peace, equality, and freedom are not utopian goals, but just our natural state once we unlearn the system that taught us otherwise? And what if we committed fully and fiercely to that vision? And not just out there in the world, but within ourselves, and how we lead and how we relate and communicate and how we build. Because the future isn't waiting for a ruling class. It's waiting for us, all of us, the new leaders, not just new leaders, but a new way of being, a new leadership paradigm. It's waiting for us to rise up and not above each other, but among each other, together. I hope this resonated with you. If this did, please share, reflect.